You are not going to believe how fast this whole situation flipped. 1 minute, fans were told the owners had no real offer on the table. The next minute, a massive proposal was sitting right there in black and white. And then Colin Cowherd goes on air and says what a lot of people were already thinking but were too scared to say. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. This wasn't just tough negotiations. This looked messy. It looked political. And it looked personal. While all of that noise was happening, Caitlin Clark was sitting calmly on national television at the NBC analyst desk during an NBA broadcast, talking about basketball like a pro, saying she believes a deal will get done soon. No drama. No anger. No panic. And that contrast, it hit people hard. Because while the league felt like it was on fire, she looked like the only person holding a bucket of water. Now here's where things really start to raise eyebrows. The Players Association had been telling fans there was no serious offer from ownership. Fans rallied behind that. Social media posts went viral. Pay us what you owe us. Shirts at All-Star Weekend. Strong messaging. Clean narrative. But then the details leaked, and suddenly everything changed. The owners had reportedly offered over 70% of net revenue. Average salaries projected to jump to around $530,000 by 2026. Max contracts potentially hitting $1.3 million right away and climbing even higher over time. Charter flights. Better benefits. Revenue sharing. That doesn't sound like no offer. So the big question became, why were fans told something different? And then it got worse. A major face-to-face meeting in New York was scheduled. This was supposed to be the breakthrough moment. The room was ready. Financial advisors, lawyers, league officials. Everyone prepared to sit down and hammer this out before things spiraled. And two key executive committee members, Kelsey Plum and Nafisa Collier, didn't show up. Empty chairs. Travel issues, reportedly. But for fans watching from the outside, it felt bigger than that. This wasn't a casual meeting. This was potentially the most important negotiation session in league history. So people started asking uncomfortable questions. If you're fighting for the future of the league, why aren't you in the room? And here's the part nobody can ignore. Both Plum and Collier are connected financially to Unrivaled, a separate league that competes for attention, players, and sponsors. So now the optics get complicated. If the WNBA season struggles, who benefits? If negotiations drag out, who gains leverage? That conflict of interest, even if it's unintentional, makes people uneasy. Fans don't like blurred lines when millions of dollars and an entire season are on the table. It creates doubt. And in high-stakes negotiations, doubt spreads fast. Meanwhile, Clark just kept doing what she's been doing since day one, showing up and performing. Breaking down plays. Talking X's and O's. Showing basketball IQ. Looking comfortable in the spotlight. She didn't attack the league. She didn't throw veterans under the bus. She didn't demand special treatment. And that's what made it louder. Because the same veterans who have taken shots at her, ranked her 9th among guards, minimized her impact, and questioned her fan base were suddenly looking less professional than the 22-year-old they tried to dismiss. That's not opinion, that's perception. And perception in sports media is everything. Cowherd leaned into that hard. He's been consistent about one thing. Clark changed the business side of this league. Attendance jumped. TV ratings spiked. Merchandise flew off shelves. National conversations exploded. Whether people love that take or hate it, the numbers around her arrival were undeniable. And the money being debated in this CBA? It showed up during her era. So when veterans act like her impact is overhyped, it feels disconnected from reality. That disconnect is what fuels frustration. And frustration is what fuels headlines. Then the escalation came. A full moratorium on team activities. No workouts. No communication. No access to facilities. A hard line drawn. That's not a soft negotiation tactic. That's a pressure move. And pressure moves are risky. Because if fans feel like the season is being held hostage, sympathy shifts. Early on, many fans supported the players without hesitation. Fair pay always sounds right. But once the details about revenue splits and existing offers became public, some fans started asking tougher questions. Gross revenue versus net revenue. Sustainability versus demand. Growth versus risk. Those aren't emotional arguments, those are business arguments. And business math doesn't bend to emotion. What makes all of this even more dramatic is the timing. The league finally has momentum. The Indiana core, Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, looks ready to compete at a high level. The spotlight is bigger than it has ever been. Sponsors are watching. Broadcasters are watching. Casual sports fans are finally tuning in consistently. This should be the launch point. Instead, it feels like a standoff. And fans hate watching opportunities slip through cracks created by ego or miscalculation. At the center of all this is a simple, uncomfortable question. Is this about fair compensation, or is this about control? Is this about building the future, or protecting pride? Clark's calm approach on national television sent one message. The public battle from certain veterans sent another. And when those two images sit side by side, people draw their own conclusions. That's why this story isn't slowing down. It's picking up speed. The 2026 season now feels like it's balancing on a thin wire. A deal could still happen. Momentum could still be saved. But the longer this drags, the more damage it does to trust, to unity, and to the league's image. Cowherd said what many were thinking. Stop letting jealousy and ego ruin something that's finally working. Whether you agree with him or not, the conversation is no longer quiet. It's loud. It's public. And it's not going away. So now it comes down to this. Who's really responsible for this CBA chaos? The owners? The players? Both? Because one thing is clear. Fans are watching closely, and they're not as easy to sway as they were a few weeks ago. The future of the league might depend less on social media posts and more on who actually shows up to the table and gets the deal done.